We're standing by with Tanya McAllister Precision Marketing. And Tanya, why don't you just tell us, what are we doing out here in Hickory, North Carolina?
Wow, we've got this little hot shoe that we got out from Madera Speedway, working with Kenny Shepard and those guys out there. And Dylan won the grand prize, where he won a marketing package from us and a test with Lee Falk Racing. And wow, he's got a ton of talent. We're super excited to see him and be out here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You've worked with a lot of young drivers, and you're probably someone that can appreciate a lot of what we do in California with our young drivers. What has been your experience so far working with 15-year-old Dylan Zampa?
Wow, Dylan, I've noticed he's a tenacious little kid. He's a great little driver. I'm super excited to have him and see his talents out here on the East Coast.
Now, you guys have partnered with Lee Falk before with other drivers in your program. What is so special about this program that made this the team you'd like to work with?
Lee and Michael and I have been friends for a long time, and they have one of the best premier late model programs in the country, I think, and they do a great job. I mean, it's kind of like a mini Monster Cup Energy team, if you will, and they really are knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. They're great with these young kids, and I just don't think he could be in a better place.
From your perspective and the marketing perspective, what do you look for in a young driver when they're at the age that Dylan is at?
I like for them to be very humble. That's huge for me. I like for the kids to be nice and humble young men and women, and I like for them to actually be able to have a lot of talent. And I see a lot of that at Madera. I see a lot of it on the East Coast as well. And it's pretty neat to see these kids rise up through the ranks. And like you said, we've been in racing for a long, long time. My father used to race, and I used to race a little bit. So it's pretty neat to see these young kids come up and start out there young, and then see them raise their ranks.
Well, it's pretty special to have folks on the East Coast noticing what we're doing at Madera Speedway. And Tanya, thanks for your support of our program.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kenny, and you, Stephen, for all you guys are doing for MPM Marketing. And we certainly love the partnership. And myself and Lee Falk Racing Development certainly enjoyed being a part of it.
From Madera, California to high atop Hickory Motor Speedway in Hickory, North Carolina, we're here for a very special test day for our own star, the 15-year-old Dylan Zampa out of Napa, California, testing for Lee Falk Racing Development. This racetrack has been the birthplace for a lot of big NASCAR stars, perhaps most notably Ralph Earnhardt raced right here at this historic speedway. And now one of our own, our runner-up from last year's 5150 Junior Late Models, getting to have a test opportunity of his own, courtesy of Tanya McAllister and McAllister Precision Marketing and all the folks at Madera Speedway. We're standing by with Lee Falk from Lee Falk Racing Development. And first of all, why don't you just tell us what we're doing out here today?
Well, we brought Dylan. Dylan obviously won the program through you guys at Madera, and we brought him out here through Tanya and brought him over here for a test, just to kind of compare y'all's racers to our racers, and obviously the kids want to move up through the ranks of NASCAR, and this is actually the birthplace of NASCAR right here at Hickory Speedway. What better place to test, And so we do what we call it's a mandatory evaluation test, and basically that's what we've done today with Dylan. And he's done an extremely well job today. I'm really pleased with him.
So you've worked with so many great drivers over the years with Fittipaldi, Larson, Stenhouse. What makes your program so keen to working with those kinds of drivers, and what gives you guys an advantage with working with young drivers?
Well, I think mine and my son's background, I've raced my whole life. I was at the racetrack when I was 6 weeks old, and I've been there and done that all the way up to the cup level and back. And I really enjoy Saturday night grassroots racing. And there's a difference between a developmental team and a show-up-and-rent team. We actually care, and we want to win races and teach these kids how to race. And it's not all about the racing. We want to teach them how to work on their cars and how to act and how to, treat their sponsors and people in the grandstands. All of that stuff is very important to us. I grew up basically with no money racing, and I know how hard it is to do this. So we're very serious and committed here about what we do because it is expensive to do. And we take a very serious approach with and we treat all our kids like they're our kids. We have a family atmosphere, and so we enjoy it the way we do it.
What's it like working with kids, like 14, 15-year-old drivers? How does that affect your approach when you're trying to work with them on the racetrack?
Well, once again, the evaluation test like we did today with Dylan, it kind of gives us a heads up on how aggressive we can get. Or, each kid's different. We have to treat them differently. We run girls through the programs, and obviously you treat the girls a little bit different. You can't scream and holler at the girls as much as you can the kids. But today's times, the young kids really have a lot of talent, and the cars of today have come so far over when I started racing that, if a kid has some talent, you can lean on him pretty hard, pretty quick. And if he gets to this level at 13 or 14 years old, or even 10 and 11, you just kind of adjust your program to that kid's driving style. And if we see here during the test that he can stand that, progress, quick progress, we lean on him extra hard. If we don't, we bring him along at a slower rate,
Well, there's a reason these guys have been doing this for almost 15 years. Lee Falk Racing Development, thanks for having us out here in North Carolina.
Man, I really appreciate you guys coming. What you guys do out there is great. I watch it every Thursday on TV. I think what you're doing is great, and hopefully we can get some kids to come over here and join the NASCAR world over here.
Well, Dylan Zampa just completed his evaluation test here with Lee Falk Racing Development. Obviously a very exciting afternoon here for Dylan. And Lee, what have you seen so far in this young driver?
I'm pretty impressed with him. It takes a whole lot of, normally when a young kid comes here from a different venue, whether it be legend cars or go-karts, it takes a while to adapt to these kind of cars with the long trailing arms and the steering boxes versus rack and pinion steering and stuff. Dylan has really impressed me today. He caught onto it really quick, and he listens well, and that's really impressed me as how much he can fix things the minute they happen. Obviously, one or two more tests with him, and I feel confident we can win races with him right off the bat.
We have a lot of drivers back in California in our Madera Racing program that want to get to this level and be involved in programs like yours. What are some pieces of advice you give some of our drivers that would like to be in this position in the future?
Work hard, learn to work on a race car. That's very important in today's world. I think that the drivers that understand their cars and how they work are a better driver in today's world. They can communicate to their crew chief and spotter on how it does, and just work hard. I mean, and treat everybody good, and just be appreciative of what you have and the people around you wanting to help you.
So Dylan, how about this experience working with a guy like Lee Falk and being here at a place like Hickory Motor Speedway? A lot to take in here. I know you're normally a rather composed driver, so tell us what you've seen so far from this afternoon.
It was definitely a blast to race here at Hickory because it's got so much experience and history here. and it was a very good test today. We picked up some good times in the last 2 practice sessions, and like what Lee said, if we come out here a couple more times, we could be a winning team.
Do you feel like you met your expectations? Were there some things that kind of surprised you today?
Yeah, I didn't know I could drive it as hard as I could here. I thought it was going to be a little like ease on the foot, but I was trying to go as hard as I could, and like it was a good experience, and yeah.
I got to imagine, you know, we're out in California, you have these aspirations and dreams to go into stock car racing. Now that you're here in North Carolina, I got to think you're probably feeling pretty motivated to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I hope I can come out here again and race or test again with Lee. But to go back to California and know that I came to a different track is going to help me and motivate me to go even faster at Madera.
How do you think your experience at Madera played into how you were able to perform today?
Aggressive driving, sure, on entry at Madera and here, and definitely momentum and corners and exit speed is key here, and just like Madera.
You're probably looking forward to doing this with some more people on the racetrack, right?
Yeah, hopefully to get to a race, hopefully, but we don't know yet.
Well, coming out of the junior late models with 3 victories, now to Hickory, North Carolina, the birthplace of the NASCAR stars. We saw some great names on the signs out front, and maybe Dylan Zampa might be the next one.